Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So this week I'm using the absolutely amazing Blossom Kit from Planners Anon. I may have gone a little bit overboard, but it's just so good. So if you want to see how this one all came together, then just keep watching. Alright, so this week's video is going to have a lot of different techniques in it, so it may be a little bit longer. The first one is a very, very simple one, so this one won't be complicated. But it's something that I just can't not do, and I know I've done it before. I did it with the Wild and Free, but I'm going to make this page sort of flip in. I just love this page. I just think it's the most beautiful piece of paper, and I really want to take advantage of just how beautiful it is. So I'm grabbing my trimmer in, and I'm petrified to do this, just FYI. And so I'm going to cut this down the middle, or it's not quite the middle, but it's close, as if this is kind of going down, like we're walking down the tree, so it'll flip this way. So I'm just going to cut this. Oh, that's scary to do. Even more scary because this hasn't been cutting particularly straight lately, so I'm a little worried about it. So like I said, this isn't completely in the middle, and that's okay. I'm going to alter this a little bit so that it sits where it needs to. So I'm going to have it at the top, and I'm going to cut off the excess, and so I'm going to cut off a little bit here on the side. So I'm just getting my trimmer back in. I'm just doing this by sight. I could be really particular and really careful about it. I don't work like that. I wish I did, but I don't. So I'm not going to throw away that little bit which is still here. I'll probably use it somewhere else. These don't have to be exactly the same width, because then this is why I do things by sight. So that way they're going to sit like that, and then they'll flip out. So I'm going to use the skinny washi for this, or I'm going to try to use the skinny washi for this. And we'll see how we go in is it wide enough? It might not be. So I'm just lining this up. And then I'm just going to stick this down. So I'm just making sure I come right up to the lines on my page. And then just pushing that down. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do here, so I may cover these up or I may not. I haven't worked that out. And then we're just going to close that, and that way I should be able to cut off the excess here on the bottom and cut the tape off at the same time, and then I can just cut the other bit off with scissors. So I'm just lining that up. There we go. So there's the first side. I'm going to repeat that process with the other side. It just doesn't quite, I know it is straight, it just doesn't look straight. It's just me being pedantic, really. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the other side. Same thing again, I'm going to line up that top corner so it'll cut off the excess at the bottom. So once I've got that down, that's what we end up looking like, and that's what I wanted. It's that whole big thing down the middle. I'm still deciding if I'm going to put something down here, because I might yet. But the next thing we're going to do is work on my flipper. Oh, sorry, that just looks amazing. So for the flipper, I'm going to be using a bit of a stamping project, but it's going to be just to get a piece of scrap paper and kind of give you an idea here. So it's going to sit here like this and be folded over, and it's going to flip up. And I'm going to put washi tape all on this side. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is a bit of cardboard. This is just a bit that I have hanging around. And it doesn't really matter what colour it is, because we're going to kind of fix this up in a second. So I'm just going to cut this to about 4 inches. And I'm only using 4 inches because it just happens to be here. Wide. Yeah, that's about how wide I want it. And then the height then comes up to how tall I want to have it. So you could do this as a pocket if you wanted to. If you didn't want to do it as a flip up, you could put like a piece of vellum here and have this sit in here like a pocket. I actually like the idea of having it as a bit of a flip thing. I'm just trying to decide how tall I want it. So I'm going to just fold this over. Wait. This isn't particularly straight, this bit of cardboard. I don't think I cut it very well, but That's okay, I can fix that. So I'm going to cut it just a little bit thinner. I'm going to use the fold as my sort of straight edge because I know that's straight, or where I want it to be anyway. It's really not liking me, this trimmer, at the moment. And because it's not liking me, I'm just going to use my little one. Doesn't really matter how thin I make this. It doesn't bother me either way. So the only downside is this one's going to leave some fluffies, but I can fix that. I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter. Like I said before, I'm doing this all off site at the moment just because I can. It's a horrible reason to do it, but here we go. So there's our little shape. So it's going to stick right on there, and you're thinking, okay, but that looks crap. I'm going to fix that. So this is where we're going to bring that washi tape in. So what I'm going to do is, if you saw my weekly deco I did a couple of weeks ago with the Simply Gilded washi, and we kind of did that pattern all the way up, I'm going to do the same thing with this washi because it's just too pretty to not use. And then I'm going to do something on the inside as well to make that a little bit more fancy. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay this down. I'll show you the first couple of strips. So you start off wherever you like, and then you just repeat the washi all the way up. So just make sure you cover all the white and just repeat it until you've covered the whole front. Depending on if you want to, you can cover a bit of the back. That's up to you. I haven't decided yet because we're going to stick that down, so you're not going to see it. So if you want to cover it a little bit, feel free to, but you're just going to be sort of wasting a little bit of washi. That said, you get so much in these, I don't know if it matters. If you are going to just do the one side, the easiest way to do it is just to fold that over, and that way it's not going to stick anywhere else that you don't need it to. I was just thinking about it while I was sticking those down. I'm like, that would be much easier. And then you just need to cut off all of the excess. Oh, that just looks so pretty. So you can do this with your trimmer if you want. I find it's just easier with scissors because you can kind of get right in close to where you need to be, but it's whatever's happiest for you. There we have it. Pretty simple, but such a great effect, especially when you move it. You can really see the foiled bits. It just looks amazing. There is a little bit of washi wastage, but hey, like I said, you get plenty. Absolutely plenty. Okay, so once I've got all that unstuck from me, which could take a minute, this is where we get to decorate the inside. So this is where I'm going to write in all my footy details and probably some to-do lists and other bits and pieces. I just noticed a bit of washi. There we go. So because I'm going to do it sort of, I want 2 panels, so I'm grabbing in some post-it notes. I'm going to get this one, the big one. This is going to be my mask. Yes, I'm masking a lot lately. I love stamps at the moment. They're just so much fun. I'm going to cut this. I'm actually going to cut 2 at once, so that way I've got 2 that are exactly the same size. I'm just going to cut this. How tall is it? So this is 12.5. Sometimes a ruler helps. By 9, that's 6. So if we do 1.5, okay, so I'm going to do this about 9, and that should give me as close to a sort of squarey rectangle as I want to have. Oh, I just poked myself in the eye. So I'm just grabbing a pencil just to mark the 9. Because this is a mask, you can make as much of a mess with it as you like. And I'm just going to cut this off. Just being, doesn't have to be precise, just close enough. Don't worry about the fluffies on this one either because they don't matter. And we're going to stick these down in the middle of both. So there's the top, bottom, sorry, and the top. Just make it as straight as you can, but the effect actually looks kind of cool even if it's not quite exactly there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab in the stamps. Now I've been playing with these massively and I've just kind of taken them off. So these are actually layered stamps. So the idea is you've got the main, the main kind of shape, and then you've got the outline of it. So we're going to grab each of them one by one, and I'm going to stamp in the main colour first and then put the outline in. But we're going to use all 4 of the different shapes because it gives it a nice sort of decorative alternation. I don't know, I'm making up words now. So I'm grabbing my Kaisercraft Flamingo ink. This pink is the closest, I think, to a cherry blossom. So this is the one I'm going to use. I've just got a stamp pad, any one will do. And then we're just going, I've just got this extra piece of paper behind here just to protect my protector. And we're just going to stamp that down, just like that. So the idea is here, it's just going to look like a bunch of flowers all over the place. I want to have it sort of hiding or over different bits of this. So I'm just kind of making the shapes over and over and over again. And we're going on the mask, off the page, a bit of everywhere really. And it doesn't matter if you even cross over between the 2 folds. It's sort of supposed to look like one whole thing. Okay, so once you've got down the first main colour or main shape, I'm just going to wipe that off. Then we get the outline in. So you can do this in black, which is what I'm going to do, or you can do it in grey. You could do it in a different colour pink, a different colour red. The effect actually is really cool when you do it in grey, but I really like the bold, and I'm going to do a little bit of extra something in here to kind of make it look extra cool. So first thing to do before you kind of start stamping these down is you just need to find where the shape is. So I found the easiest way to do that is actually find the little nook bit in the flower. So one of them has a little sort of hook here, so you just find that. So that's where that one goes. And because I know I did them roughly the same, it's going to be in that kind of shape. So ink up with black. And then we're going to just put that down over the top. This is where a clear acrylic block's going to absolutely rescue you. I'm just going to do this one first just because that one's sort of on the cusp. There we go. So just going to repeat that for all of these ones. So once you finish doing all those ones, you're then going to repeat the same thing with all the different shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that super fast. It's very, very simple. I just sort of alternate between the side view and the sort of whole view, as in these ones are the whole views, the ones that look like this, and then there's some that kind of look like they're falling or they're sort of from the side. So I kind of just alternate between those two, and I'm just trying to fill in all of the space. Okay, so when you're done, you're going to end up with something that looks like that. Yes, it takes a very long time, but the effect is actually, like, I love that. I think it looks amazing. I've done it like 3 or 4 times on 2 or 4 different other things, 2 or 4, 2 or 3. So then what you can do is you can take the mask off. So I've got black ink on my fingers, so I'm just going to give my hands a bit of a wipe before I do this. I'm just going to grab some tweezers because it makes life easier. And then you're going to pick this up and you're going to see the whole big effect because it does look bloody awesome. There we go. Ha ha! Oh, I love it. It looks so good. And then we're going to finish it off by drawing a border around the outside, so it'll be a solid line. And then we're going to put some dots in there because it kind of fills in that space because it does look a little bit white. So I'm just grabbing in my uni pin pens So I'm using a 0.8 here. I just find it's a really nice thickness. And then you're just going to draw in where the border is. Doesn't matter if you're not quite exactly where the border is, it's not going to matter. Alright, and then we're going to put all these dots in. So putting the dots in is going to take a minute, so I'm going to cut straight to it and I'll be right back. Alright, so that's what it looks like once all the dots are in. I'm not going to show you with the footy details in because let's face it, you've seen that thousands of times before. And I think we've been going for like an hour. I'm kidding, we haven't actually been going that long. It just feels like it. So that's going to sit, oh god, that looks good. That's going to sit just there on the inside and then it'll flip up and it'll have all the details. So I'm just going to stick that down just with glue tape. Oops. Nothing too fancy on this bit. Everyone's looking at the thing going, look, she's doing something normal. She's using glue tape. You could be a little bit clever with this if you wanted to round the corners off. I don't really think it needs it. I think it looks good just the way it is. You could also put it in the middle if you want. I'm just going to put it at the bottom because that way if I want to put something else at the top, like if I want to put boxes or lists or whatever, I can. And there we have it. Oh, that looks so good. So good. Righto, let's get to actually decorating, you know, the planner pages, shall we? So I'm going to move my mix and match line mail. That's the first thing. Now the reason I moved my mat is that the last time I used this, I got a little bit of transfer on the back of my page from my mat. So I'm just making sure there's nothing underneath it this time so that I don't accidentally get it everywhere. So I'm just going to put that mix and match line mail sticker off to the side. See, it does leave a little bit of damage. It goes away after a while, but just be careful wherever you're using this of what's on the other side, just because it might catch you out a little bit. So I think for the washi, I want to put something down the side here, but I kind of can't because the washis all go horizontal and I of course want to go vertical right now. So I'm going to grab this bit of paper and I'm going to put it down the side. That is a bit sticky, so I'm just going to rub that off. So I'm just being really gentle with the eraser and this is just getting up that sticky residue. So I actually changed my mind. Actually, Ryan changed my mind. I'm going to do the birds instead. So I'm just going to cut this strip. And I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. It's just going to be a straight... Oh, actually. No, I will. I'll do a bit of a wobbly. So I'm just grabbing my dial trimmer. And then just deciding what edge I want to use. I want to use that one. The only downside to this is I am going to waste just a little bit, but that's alright. So I'm just going to cut straight down the edge here. Please cut straight, please cut straight. There we go. And that'll go just there. Just enough to cover that up. And then we can keep going from there. So the only thing I'm going to do before I stick that down is just white out all of the days and just the days. I'll leave the dates for now because they'll probably get covered up with stickers and stuff anyway. So I've just put a little tiny mark there. I'm going to glue it and then cut it because then I get it where I want. So I'm just going to put a ton of glue tape on here. Figured I was going to run out of glue tape then. Okay, so I just had an argument with my glue tape, but we're here now. So I'm just going to stick that down right on the edge. go. I know I've cut off a bit of the bird, but you sort of get the idea there. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to cut to it just because I can. The bird will actually end up looking like he's still there because I'm going to cut down this side. So it'll end up looking like that. So you'll still get the bird. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like once everything's in. Like I said, that all kind of lines up together, so it ends up looking okay. I'm just going to go ahead and punch the holes in, and then we're going to get to actually using the stickers. So I'm going to start off with my days of the weeks. That's really obvious, but that's sort of where I'm going next. So just grabbing them out. So, grab these ones. So I'm grabbing the extra sticker kit. And what I'm thinking I might do is do the days of the week this side and this side, so that way the middle's sort of clear and I can play with. I just haven't decided if I want to use pink or blue. I might use the blue ones just to kind of bring in a little bit more, you know, blue, because it is very pink. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick all of these down. Okay, so all the dates are now down. I don't have date dots yet, and that's because they're still coming, as in Planners Anonymous as of next month are going to have date dots, so I'm so excited about that. I'm just going to put this cover at the top, which is where the April thing's going to go. I'm going to put one on each side, and I'm just making sure I don't cover up the bird too much for that one, just because I don't want the coverage there. Okay, now we're going to put some stickers and bits and pieces to cover up all these other ones. I really want to use a window, one of these beautiful windows. I want to use it here. I'm just seeing, no, I'm going to use this one. So this is where we're going to start covering up some of those numbers. So I'm just putting that right there. Oh, that looks so good. Then we're going to put a couple more boxes and things sort of down the sides. This one I'm going to leave there. I'm just going to cover it up with just a blossom. So I'm going to use this little leaf or little petal one. And then this one. So I've got two here that I just need to be very aware of. So I think I'm going to cover the one on Sunday. I want to cover that up with just a quote. So I'm going to grab this one here that says, "Let your dreams blossom." And I'm just going to put just a tinsy little bit of white out, just because I can see it through there and I don't want to. There we go. And then I'm going to put a box at the bottom. I'm going to grab this one here with the bird. So it's not going to matter if he covers up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it up so it sits just on the line, or just above the line, but it'll cover right up to there. There we go. Okay, and we need some boxes on the other side to even them out. I just don't want to use that wood, and I don't want to use this one because I don't want to make it look too much. So I'm going to put this one just here on Tuesday. All right, sorry guys, I got distracted then. I'm not working. I had work happen, so I just had to sort of go and fix something up. So okay, we need to get this finished. I don't want to go too over the top in here because it is absolutely gorgeous, and I don't want to overdo it. She says, as she knows she's already overdone it. But I really do want to use this little wreath. I'm actually a bit nervous about it because I'm scared of using it because I don't want to break it. But I'm going to put it down here in this corner. I'm going to put it down here and build this up. I've wanted to use this ever since I saw Sammy have like show it on the live. So I do want to sort of build this up and make it look like a wreath kind of does. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these down sort of around the place. And in the middle of that, I'm just going to put this one that just says loving life. So just a little bit of a quote there as well. We just need a little bit more to finish this off. So I'm grabbing this jar with the cherry blossom stems in it. I'm going to put that in the middle here, not quite in the middle, but just sort of here-ish. Grab this little stick here with the to-dos, because that can be my sort of front end of the week to-do list. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with the back end of the week to-do list. And I'm just going to put in, there was a little icon of the mail stuff. Going to get this little one here that's sort of got your letter writing stuff, and that's going to go down there because that's going to be my mail list. I'm just going to grab this little wash there. That can be the happy mail list at the bottom. Not too much coming at the moment, so that's good. And then I think I'm actually going to leave it. I don't think it needs too much more than that. I've got my gym stuff and things like that to put in there, and obviously I've got my footy details to put in as well. But it's actually really simple on the inside. It's just really kind of crazy on the outside, but that's not a bad thing. I adore this. This is my favourite thing by a country mile. But I kind of like the way that then on the inside it's a little bit more simple. It maybe needs just a touch of a couple of cherry blossoms just sort of floating around the place. So I might sort of put one there, one there, and then maybe one over here. But it doesn't really need anything else other than that. I reckon that's just about it. I can really easily, if I want to later on, maybe sometime this week, I might grab like the girl and make a pocket over on this side. But if I do update it at all, I will put a picture of it up on my Instagram so you'll be able to see it. But that is my week using Blossom. It did take a very long time. Didn't help that I got interrupted during that. But overall, I think that looks really cool. If you didn't know that was a planner page, you wouldn't know it. Like it's so very well disguised, which is nice for a change. But still gives me plenty of room to be able to change things up, put things in. I really love that bird in the middle. That so wasn't supposed to be there, but I really love it. Oh, I put my lime mail back in. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you learnt a couple of extra little techniques in there. Let me know if you want these techniques in these videos when I do the decoration, or if you'd prefer to see them in videos on their own. I understand both sides of the coin, so I'd love to hear from you if you do have a thought either way. Don't forget to be subscribed so you don't miss any further videos of mine, and also make sure that you're following me on social media so you don't miss any of my future updates. I hope you guys have the best week, and I will see you again tomorrow. Sending lots of huggles.